alaikum and welcome to the weekly podcast of ActionRadius.com. This week we will be going to my media center room and showing you a very particular thing, how to set up your speakers right. Do note, this is not a review, this is not to show the whole system, but it's just some good tips on how to set up your speaker. We will be talking about your typically available 5.1 speakers. Of course, there are in market now available 7.1, 9.1 and even 11.1 speaker systems. But normally most people will just go for the 5.1 experience, as that is just good enough for now. And even the movies come with maximum 7.1 setup. Most of the movies you will find is 5.1 setup only. So 5.1 is a really reasonable thing to go for right now if you don't have a lot of cash just to spend right now. So even though most of the people do know what 5.1 means, that is 5 speakers and plus 1 woofer, and most people also know that actually how and where the speakers will go in general, but we will be talking about some of the good tips to get the maximum out of your speakers. So let's go speaker by speaker and how to set up a good ideal home theater system. The first thing that you should be looking for when purchasing a home theater system is actually how your seating is going to be. Whether you are going to have a floor setup or you are going to be seated on a sofa, what will be the height of your ear level when sitting on a sofa, because your purchase decision should matter at the time by your furniture setup. So most people like me will go for a sofa setup where your ear levels are nearly at around 1 meter from the ground at max. And that is how you will base your decision of buying a home theater system from the market. Because in the market you will find different kind of setup. For example, you will find the satellite speakers, which are pretty small and can be placed on a piece of furniture or independent stands. Then you will find tall boy speakers like this. So if you're going for a setup like me where you don't have any other furniture on which you will be mounting those small satellite speakers, then go for these tall boy kind of speakers. The advantage is actual speaker is only in the top region, not the down. The down one is only a stand, something that you see here as well. It's just I'm using for decoration because I don't need to use all the stands. But the actual speakers are top here because this is what we call the ear level. These left and right speakers have to be at your ear level so that the sound waves go directly to you. So that is our tip number 1, that adjust the elevation of your speakers so that it reaches your ear perfectly. So if you are low on budget and you cannot afford tall boy speakers, go for a satellite one. There is no harm in that, because as I said, even in this one, the actual speaker is only in this top region. So the actual speaker height is nearly the same. You are just not buying a stand with it, which is the bottom portion. So in that case, what you will be doing is using an existing piece of furniture to place your satellite speakers so that they reach your ears. Or you can buy a separate stand or mount them on a wall even if you want to get that perfect ear level which directly reaches your ear when sitting. Now, the second tip is their angles. Their angles should be actually pointing towards the center of your seating position. Dolby or DHX recommend an angle between 17 degree to 30 degree, so you can play with those angles and see where it sounds perfect. So one of the tips for doing that setup is that you can ask your friend to actually move this speaker or rotate this speaker around your actual position, and you just sit where you want to sit in the center of the room or on your sofa, which is in the center, and that's the best seat in the house. And most of the AV receivers these days come with a pink noise, so it's like shh. So it's a blank noise, and you can set up which speaker you are going to listen it from. And so turn that pink noise speaker from one of your speakers, your left speaker, then right speaker. Sit in your seat, ask your friend to rotate the speaker, close your eyes, and where it feels the best sound, just stop, ask him to stop at that angle. The sound waves are physical waves, so it really matters how you directly point that sound. So that is our tip number 2. Keep after the elevation, keep the angle of the sound correct as well. The third tip is regarding your ground. So as you can see, I am using a soft carpeting. Now this is important because what happens is that if you are using tiles, then the sound will actually go, it will reach your ear of course, but what will also happen is that sound is going to expand and it will hit the ground and it will bounce back. Now the time it takes for a direct beam to reach your ears and the time it takes for the rebound beam to reach your ears is slightly different, and this is what creates an echo. So what you have to make sure is that your sound does not rebound, and that's why soft cushioning helps. It's also a great way to hide the wires underneath. For example, I'm using a flat HDMI cable here. My speaker cables are going all under this carpet, and it really helps to hide all your crop of wires. And the same philosophy applies to your coffee tables. So even though I'm using these coffee tables as aesthetics and to keep some of the stuff like popcorn during the movie nights, but ideally what will happen is that during the actual movie screening, I will move them away from my screening area or away from the speakers, because these also act as rebound. So the waves will come, hit this table and rebound, and slightly a small echo at least will be created by these. So it's better to have no furniture at all in front of your speakers. Next, we are going to be talking about the center speaker, which is the most important part of a movie experience because your main dialogues will be coming from this speaker. So it is very important that this is centered directly in the center of the movie. So ideally where the actors are, that is where your screen is. This speaker has to be directly behind them or in front of them, so that the voice seems to be coming from the actors rather than from a corner. So, but most probably what will happen is that ideal location is in the center of your screen, and for anyone actually other than the movie theaters, it is impractical to place the speakers right behind the screen. And that is why the second best alternate is either placing the speaker under your screen or above it. Most people will buy some kind of a furniture, so that you can do, or place it like me. So tip number 1, place it directly underneath or above your screen. Tip number 2, if you're going to buy a furniture for it, just keep it as maximum as possible to the front side of the furniture, so that any box of that furniture does not act as a rebound surface, just like we talked about the left and right speakers. So that's the tip for the center speaker. The third tip that you can do to improve your experience is the tweeter angle. Now this one has the smallest speaker, which is normally called the tweeter. That is going to be producing the highest level of frequencies in all of your speakers, and the highest frequency is for your voice, and you want it aimed directly at you. So even though this will be placed lower than your screen, for example in my case, but what you can ideally do is slightly tilt the speakers towards your ear level. So rather than placing it flat, just make it slightly at an angle if it is lower, or if it is higher, then just tilt it downwards so that it aims directly at you. You can place any kind of cushioning underneath it or make it an angle based on your existing furniture setup to make it the perfect angle to aim directly. You can just eyeball it and aim directly at your viewers.